Right, now this will tell us. And that's pretty conclusive. Still going. Close. I think he got it down.
How strong is he?
Welcome back to the Pick and Go podcast, your one-stop shop for all things, rugby these days, just rugby. Yeah, plenty of rugby. And once again in studio, I'm joined by former All Black Piri. No test match rugby last weekend for the All Blacks, Piri, but we got a big bumper weekend this weekend coming up.
Yeah, all things footy, not just the test. But there's obviously a lot of FPC and NPC matches over the weekend that you keep an eye on. Was gutted for the Taniwhas on the weekend. I really thought they were going to get the job done because it would have been good for it to go north. But it is what it is.
Well, the good thing about it staying in Hawke's Bay for the time being is I think Tasman might get the next challenge. And if Tasman were to take it off Hawke's Bay, Wellington would then get the very next challenge across the Cook Strait. So I think it's a good time for us to bring in our good friend from up north, not quite as far as the Taniwha, but he's there just north of the Harbour Bridge, North Harbour, who picked up their first win of the season, Searle.
Yeah, the dominant province in the Auckland region. You know, you've got that big powerhouse over the bridge still sitting winless in 13th or 14th or whatever they are. And then you've got North Harbour just quietly chipping away, putting 40-odd points on Waikato and finally hitting their straps. I thought it was going to come 2 weeks ago in round one, but, you know, sometimes good things take time and they're going to go undefeated from here on out, lads.
Wow, I wonder what odds you get for that at the TAB. I'll ask the bookies if they'll put something out on North Harbour going unbeaten for the rest of the season. We'll have a look at the NPC a wee bit later. Right now, I've got a question for both of you. We've got a big test match coming up this weekend. I think kickoff is around 3 o'clock in the morning, our time, on Sunday. All Blacks across over in South Africa. So if you look at the Springbok squad, the current Springbok squad, which player out of that squad would you like to see in an All Black jersey? We'll go to you first, Searle.
I think the boring answer is Etzebeth, isn't it? Just because, man, this bloke is truly world class. And when you look at the two locks we lost last year in Retallick and Whitelock, there is a bit of a gap there at the moment, especially highlighted with the injury to Patrick Tuipulotu as well. So chucking him next to Scott Barrett would be incredibly handy. His size, physicality, he's got that enforcer mindset. He'd be a great inclusion to throw into this team. So I think he's the first name that jumps off the paper. I wouldn't mind seeing Pieter-Steph du Toit in there as well. And I think Geordie Barrett would quite like that too, because I'm not sure his ribs have recovered still from that World Cup final.
Piri, if you were to look at the current Springbok squad, what player sort of sticks out for you that, we'll throw him in a black jersey?
Yeah, the last name that Searle said,
Pieter-Steph du Toit.
Yeah, him or Quokka. I think we're probably short of a hard-running 6 or even a 7. And the work that those two do sort of around the field is huge. And I think that's probably why you can start one and bench the other. It doesn't matter who you use. But yeah, I'd probably say one of those two.
It's funnily enough, we've all gone for someone in the forward pack. I wouldn't mind seeing Khaleesi in the black jersey. I thought he was sensational in the World Cup. He's a fantastic leader. He does a lot of little things that just add up big time when you get to the end of a game. To be fair, you could go through the Springbok pack and pick out just about any one of them. Malcolm Marks at hooker, who was good before he was injured. But if you look back on your career, Piri, can you think of a Springbok player from the past that you wouldn't have mind? I'd rather he be on our team than me having to tackle him every time he starts running the ball off the back of the scrum. Or
Oh, maybe 2 people.
yeah.
Beast would have been one, and Pierce Beast, who used to be a winger, converted to a number 8.
It's
His
not
height and size and everything was like, ouch.
Yeah, that's not an ideal combo, eh? A number 8 with winger speed. Shit.
I
It's
was
not,
looking at Jose Gear going, cuz, are you going to convert to a number 8 with your pace?
it's not often you get a player go from the wing to
Oh.
number 8.
And actually be a specimen. Like, he was tall, quick off the mark too. So having him take off from a base of a scrum, or even just having Beast running down an edge, which no wingers would want. A prop to be full flight down an edge there.
Oh, I don't mind that at all, to be fair. Look, yeah, why don't we just have a look at that first test? And as we speak on Tuesday morning, New Zealand time, neither team has been named. But I guess if you look at how the first part of the Rugby Championship has gone, Searle, you'd have to say that the Springboks are they're slightly ahead at this stage. Of course, the All Blacks, it's their first tenure under Scott Robertson, so he's still trying to, I guess, get his sort of game plan, his fingerprints all over this All Black team. And of course, last week we did see a wee bit of a change in the All Black coaching makeup, with Leon McDonald no longer wanted. You can have a chat about that if you want, but if you have a look at the 2 teams, the Springboks and the All Blacks, are you happy that the bookies have made South Africa one of the 7.5 point favourites? They're $1.37. The All Blacks out at $2.90.
Yeah, there's a bit of value there for the All Blacks, isn't there? I think the bookies, well, South Africa deserve to be favourites, in my opinion. If this was over at Eden Park, then I think those odds would be a whole lot closer. But South Africa, they're the defending World Cup champions. And I think prior to that All Blacks game last week and the performance they put out on the paddock, I think everyone would have said that they've looked that other level up from us at the moment. They just look so crisp, so organised. That 4-pack is so physical. Then you factor in no Ethan de Groot for these 2 games. Scott Barrett's coming in a bit undercooked. But then I saw last night that there's a chance Itzebeth could be ruled out with injury for this week's game as well, which would be a great leveler for us and certainly makes that South African pack just a little bit less intimidating. But I do think the Springboks deserve to go in as favourites. I think the addition of Tony Brown for them has been massive for unlocking their attack. I've really liked some of the plays that they've been pulling off. They showed they're just not that bash and crash, kick it high and try pressure our back 3 type of team anymore. They've got some razzle-dazzle and they've started to unleash that back line. And I've really liked how they've used guys like Peter Steph du Toit running wide in those wide channels, moving the ball a bit more and using the whole width of the paddock, because they've always had the talent in the backs to be able to play an expensive game, but we haven't always seen it from the Springboks, and we have so far this year over the first few games. So, yep, they're deserved favourites. It's a massive test for us to go over there, but at the same time, I love the fact that we're underdogs, because it shows that we've almost got that nothing to lose mindset. No one's expecting us to pull it off. I think everyone thinks it's going to be close, but if we could get the upset here, that would be a massive tick in the box for Razor, and that battle between him and Russie is going to be as interesting as the one on the field.
Do you think they'll have a dance-off after the game? Bit of a Olympic-style break dance? No, never mind. All right, jeepers creepers.
Well, no, actually, Russie might just come with the disco lights for.
Oh. Or maybe they'll have a battle on Twitter. I know Rassie loves a good post on social media. If we have a look at the last 6 games between these 2 teams, of course, the latest one was that World Cup final. But South Africa have won 4 of the last 6 against the All Blacks. If you have a look at that record and the fact that this is a new coaching structure for the All Blacks. Are you sort of concerned a wee bit, Piri, with how the All Blacks might go?
No, I think, with a few distractions, those boys are in control of themselves and nothing else. So all they can do is do what they need to do to get themselves prepped and ready to go for this weekend. I think we should be slightly confident. I reckon that there is a potential for us to go over there and upset them in the first game. If not the first game, potentially the second game, where they kind of get a feel of what they're throwing at them, and then they can try and counter that. But in saying that, Brownie's actually he's a pretty sharp coach, and his attack skills and style that he coaches is out the gate, some of it, but he's actually like Searle said, allowing the Springboks to actually move the ball a bit more, which is making them one of the best teams in the world at the moment, isn't it?
I guess, Searle mentions Etzebeth might be a question mark. Springboks seem to have a conveyor belt of big forwards who just Snyman, they just one after the other. One falls down, another one comes in, just as big, just as fast, just as powerful. So I guess if you have a look at how and as you say, their game used to be based around that forward power and pinging the ball down into the opposition half, creating pressure, scoring points off mistakes. But they've got there's a wee bit more to them these days, Searle. So if you have a look at that South African likely makeup, does it? I guess it's going to be very, very hard for the All Blacks if they get behind early on to come back over there. And that home crowd, and we'll ask Piri soon what that atmosphere is like when you're playing in South Africa with a packed stadium. Can you see the All Blacks, if they do get behind early, coming back?
Well, we have plenty of strike, don't we? When you look at that backline makeup from the last game, and assuming they roll out that same backline, because I don't think they'll be making mass changes after the performance they put in. But when you have a team with Will Jordan, Beauden Barrett, Damian McKenzie, Geordie Barrett, then a bench with guys like Mark Talia, we're not going to struggle to score points. It's whether we can go with them, for me, in the set piece stuff. And losing Ethan de Groot is going to be massive because he thrives on occasions like this. I think Tamaiti Williams is going to step up in a massive way. And I think the stage has been set for him to really announce himself on the international stage because he was unreal against Argentina. And he's that big body that we need to be into everything because he's one of those guys that can match the Springboks size. But yeah, it's a tough occasion over in South Africa. I do wonder as well, like not playing South African teams in Super Rugby, whether that has an effect because it's something that a lot of these players won't have faced in a while. And the Springboks fans are going to be up for this. I've seen billboards that are already up on the way from the airport to the stadium that have the score from the World Cup final last year. They're a passionate bunch. There's a lot of All Black supporters over in South Africa. But yeah, they're going to be up for this one. They're going to be into it. There's no rivalry like Springboks versus the All Blacks, and they love beating us, and they love going on social media after and telling us that they beat us as well. You throw in that World Cup final result. There's so much to play for in this one. Part of me thinks that it was a blessing in disguise having that loss to Argentina, though, because that lit the flame in this All Black squad. We saw it in that last performance, and now you don't have to worry about that blowout. This team is going to be so motivated to show that they are a bloody good football side. And I think that loss to Argentina would have given them a bit of a kick in the butt as well.
Piri, you've played in South Africa for the Hurricanes in Super Rugby, for the All Blacks. What is the atmosphere like when you're standing out there just prior to a game? On television, it sounds very, very loud. Does it have an effect on you, or do you prefer having that noise around you?
going to the stadiums, it's always hostile. You've got fans giving the fingers, and flipping you, and freaking, just little things like that. It's just like, far out. What are we getting ourselves into, boys?
A bit like New South Wales on the bus as they head to Suncorp for State of Origin.
Exactly. So it's just can be sort of hostile, but at the same time, like, it's a beautiful atmosphere. They're very passionate supporters over there, whether it's for the All Blacks or for the Springboks. But the amount of times I've played over there, and you've copped an earful because they're pretty close to the sub box.
Oh, you mean like the sideline, the stadiums that
So you
not
can
like
pretty
here,
much
where
you're like about
Yeah.
20 meters away.
Yeah.
They're pretty close to the field, so you definitely hear everything. But it's just cool, like flying the planes over the top of the stadium, and like they create an awesome atmosphere. And I think that's probably what we don't do well here around that is we don't create a good atmosphere at the fields at the test level anyway. I know people try and organise good music and things like that, but it's they're chanting, they're screaming, they're having a good time. It's almost like the Sevens when it used to be here. Everyone's having a good time. When the All Blacks showed up for their game, everyone would be out from the concourse and then
having a smoke,
having a whatever, and then
At the tinny house. Yeah, it's only right?
Sorry, the tinny house, but they show up to support the team and then they go out and enjoy the concourse. So, yeah, they create a pretty cool atmosphere. And then what I did like about my time over there, especially down in Durban, is after, because they used to do tailgating, we'd go out and walk through the Bri, and they've got a few live bands and stuff like that.
Well, is that just outside of the stadium?
Yeah, just outside the stadium. After the game, they're sort of having a braai, and just enjoying what just happened.
So you join in?
Yeah, after games we go.
Oh, really?
Go walk around, say hello to some of the fans that are around there, and they usually offer you a beer or I was hoping more for a sausage or like a steak or big steak from their kai that they're cooking. But yeah, it's a pretty cool thing that they do after the games in Durban.
So let's look prior to the game. You land in wherever, Joburg or wherever you're playing, and you usually land there, on the Monday or the Tuesday prior to the test, or the Wednesday?
No, it'll be Friday, Saturday.
So you're there for a week prior to a test match. So how do you guys, obviously you have your planned training runs, and I'm guessing gym sessions and things like that, but how much downtime do you have, and what do you do and when you've got that sort of spare time, or what are you allowed to do?
Oh, I do whatever we want. We try and organise things. Try not to go and do things by yourself. We always got to go in pairs of three as we get told. But we always try and organise activities to do on our days off, whether it's going to the mall or golf, shooting range, bike rides, motorbike rides, like riding on Harleys and stuff like that.
And like through the streets or out on a?
Nah, go for a bit of a ride out away from the city, and just enjoy the old wind and the here. And
what about the wild animals? You go out and check that
there's safaris that we can go have a look at. Yeah, and then usually Monday, Tuesday is usually like the heavy days in terms of training and preparation.
Yeah,
trying to get a lot of content in. Ticking the boxes around our fitness, just top ups and things like that, gym sessions, and then Wednesday day off, organise activities. Then we have recovery with massage, and then some might just want to go to the gym and stretch or things like that. Thursday's usually like a bit of clarity, making sure that everyone's on the same page, and then we do a quick hit before we get into our afternoon session. It's sort of a light session in the morning, and then captain's run.
Do you have any like official I get head out to schools or anything like that while you're over there. Did you ever do that when you're with the All Blacks?
Yeah, we did. There was a few clubs that we went to. We'd go and spend a bit of time. Some of them were in the shanty towns, and just to run around with the kids and basically interact with them and have a good time and try and put a smile on their dials, and try and see if we can beat them in touch or foot races to the 10 metre. All the wingers in the.
So you're saying we took on the 10, 11-year-old kids who were 6'3", 100 kilos, and could run like the wind.
Yeah.
Right, Searle. Let's have a look at this game from a punting perspective. If you look at it, and there aren't that many markets out at the moment because neither team has been named, but if you have a look at it, is there anything that sort of stands out for you right now?
I think that line of 7.5 certainly appeals if you're a patriotic All Black fan like myself and you think that it's going to be within 7 points either way, which I do think it will be. I think it's going to come down to some key moments, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout score either way. So I love that just over a converted try. Anytime you can get a line like that in a game that you expect to be really close, then I jump on that. So the All Blacks plus 7.5 to me is really appealing. I forgot to factor in the altitude as well, and I was going to ask Piri if playing at altitude is 2 or 3 training sessions enough to be able to adjust as well, because like I mentioned before, not playing the Springboks sides in Super Rugby now, there's guys in that team that haven't had a lot of experience there, and it does make a massive difference, particularly in the back end of a game for your fitness levels.
I don't know if I know that at a NZCIS here, they've got a chamber to train at Hiveout. So I don't know if they've done any prep around that, but yeah, it's definitely that's one thing. That's good points, really. Like, it's a tough ask to go and play when you've never been there before and you don't know what it's like. So trying to acclimatise to that isn't easy.
The first time you played it on the high veld, did you find yourself 60 minutes into a game?
It's oxygen.
At least you got an excuse though, hey? You can be like, oh, it's the altitude, boys.
Oh yeah, hard. 100%. The old throat was dry. Thinking you do your prep that day in the morning. You know, you sink back a few cups of water and then you sip away on water for the rest of the day. Get your electrolytes in before kickoff. Start running around. Get some water. What's happened? Oh, we did all this prep and I'm still not acclimatized. Help me. Sub. It's even harder if you're coming off the bench.
Oh, really?
If you're not used to it, yeah.
Oh. So if you come off the bench, say, 20, 25 minutes to go.
You're blowing by about 5 minutes.
Wow. Because
the boys have obviously, in our warm-up, you always try and get close to getting your second wind. So by the time you're 5 minutes into the game, you should pretty much be feeling a lot better. And so when you're on the bench, you don't get that opportunity to do that, but you try your best to mimic that warm-up on the sideline or behind the goalposts. And most of the times the boys just want to watch the game. Trainers there yelling at you, yeah, sorry. Well, you're ready to go, but I mean, it's not at the same intensity as what we have in our team.
So if you have a look at the punting side of things, are you thinking along the same lines as Searle? All Blacks plus 7.5 looks a wee bit of value there.
I'm looking at something else.
Oh,
I'm looking at the draw and then New Zealand to win at half time, and then final.
Let's have a look at that.
That's paying
half
28.
Full-time double. Draw at halftime, New Zealand to win, $26.
It's not a bad. It come in for me in the first game. The first test.
Yeah, he's the king of those, aren't you?
Yeah, I just think it'll be a tough
Tight.
ask. I think the boys will stay close. So it'll be either draw and then New Zealand to win.
Righty-ho. Funnily enough, we're falling behind again. But we'll stick with you, Piri, and we'll see if you've got a Wainui whisper for this week. Of course, Tyrell Lomax from Wainui will almost certainly be packing down one side of the scrum for New Zealand this weekend. Of course, his father, Johnny, played for the Kiwis and had a very good career with the Canberra Raiders, the NRL. What have you heard from Tyrell before he took off, bro?
Not much. I was trying to go to golf with the bro, and he was gave me the crickets.
Who, Tyrell?
Yeah. So, I'll see you there then. It's because he's not. It's because my nephew's not here. That's probably why I didn't want to come swing a club with me. It's probably because I'm at the same handicap as him, but I still kick his ass.
What's his handicap?
I think he's on 12, 13.
Who, Tyrell?
Yep.
Damn, so he can hit the ball.
Yeah, it's been all. He. I've played a few games with him, and his short game is needs a bit of work like mine, but he's got a pretty handy drive.
Righty-ho. Hopefully,
so no whispers from the big man, and then probably won't get it next week either. You'll probably give me the old scene.
Well, he's still over there next week, isn't he?
I know exactly. So,
oh well. Hopefully he gets to hit a golf ball or two while he's over there.
Oh yeah, that'll be planned. I don't know if the boys. I remember the first year I went to South Africa. Tana took his golf clubs with him. I was thinking, why can't I take mine? I was like, it's because you were just new to the team, mate. You stick to hiring them. So. But their courses are pretty cool. Apart from, I learned real quick.
Don't go in the bushes.
Yep. Don't go looking for your ball. Just make sure you have about 20 beer ones. I want to walk in there, rightio. We're just going to go straight back to the golf cart and drop over here.
Do you get penalised for that?
No, we're just lucky because they have people that you can that are spotters that go and look for your ball for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then they just stand around until you get there. And I'm like, why do we need them? Like, can't we go and do this? And there's a reason why you've got those boys. They know what to look out for to make sure that you don't get bitten or anything like that.
So you don't hit it on you hook it left. It goes in the bushes or wherever the rough,
just off the edge of the rough.
Right. So, and you've got someone there, a spotter. He finds your ball. Are you allowed to then go in and play your ball, or you just?
Yeah, I've asked. I was like, should I play my ball over there, brother, or should I just pick it up? And
drop one here.
He's like, I'll pick it up if I was you. Oh, yes, sweet. Pick it up for me, cuz, please.
All righty. Well, we should get onto the NPC before we run out of time. NPC, if we look back at last week, once again, an upset or two. Otago, 31-26 over Bay of Plenty, although Otago were the giant killers, what was it, the week before as well against Auckland. Auckland losing to Canterbury, 21-27. Auckland now starting the season 0-3, yet to record their first win in the NPC. So, look, I'm not going to say they're going to miss the playoffs, but they'd want to get a win on the boards sooner rather than later. Tasman dominant against Counties Manukau, 48-3. Hawke's Bay retain the Shield, 55-30 after Northland got off to a pretty hot start. Manawatu gave Wellington a big old scare at Jerry Collins Stadium out at Porirua. Did you hand the jerseys out?
No. Lando texted me and it was messaged me and said that something's happened. So I was like, all good.
Did you go to the game?
I went and watched my cousin play. She played in the in Curtin Raisin.
Who did she play for?
The Pride.
Oh, right. Oh, did they play 1 or 2 as well?
Yep.
How'd they go?
Moving on.
That wonderful 1 or 2. She's got some wheels.
Oh, Maya.
Yeah.
Yep. She's played for Naho Whā Wainuiomata League team with Ken Laban as the coach. Yep. So half of the family was split. Like Maya's family was there next to my family and all that, and we're cheering for all our league girls. But
So why is she playing for Manawatu and not Wellington?
Because the whānau's up there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. And, of course, North Harbour picked up their first win of the season. Otherwise, it was looking very, very bleak for those teams around the Bombay Hills.
Well, hey, to be honest, at the start of it, when we talked about the NPC starting, we got hot tips from our mate up there saying that this is the year of the Heat. And they've disappointed for the first 2 rounds, but they've finally come through.
Well, is it just...
Well, we don't know. He did say at the start that they're going to go unbeaten from here on out.
Searle, any one of those games you just want to have a little bit of a word about? I'm guessing maybe the North Harbour Waikato game. North Harbour getting a lot of help from the Australians.
Oh, yeah, he's actually been really good, hasn't he, Tane Edmund? And they almost lost him during the week. Joe Schmidt gave him a buzz because the Wallabies have been struggling. I think their third 10 they've got in the squad at the moment was under a bit of an injury cloud. So he gave him a buzz and said, you might have to be going to Argentina. So that would have been chaos. I started cleaning my boots, but the phone call never came. So you never know, boys. You never know. But yeah, great win for Harbour. Good to see Cade Banks, a local boy, dot down for 4 tries as well. He was part of the Blues squad this year. Only got the 1 game, made his debut, but I think there'll be a few Super Rugby teams sniffing around him if he continues that form. Had a bit of a word to my mate, Sean Stevenson. He needs to work on his captaincy. Geez, did he push that referee to almost the boiling point? But you got to love that. Otago, they were the big result for me, though. I really enjoyed watching that game against Bay of Plenty. Went right down to the wire. And after that first loss against Southland, I was ready to put a line through them. I thought they were going to have a disappointing season. But now back-to-back wins against Auckland and Bay of Plenty at home. Well done to them. They've got some exciting players in that team too.
Yeah, they've got a number of players with Super Rugby experience. So we probably shouldn't be too surprised that they have picked up these 2 big wins against Bay of Plenty and Auckland. So, yeah, well done to the boys down there in Otago. I think Wellington got a big scare against Manawatu at Jerry Collins Stadium. Piri. Manawatu started off very, very well. They were controlled the game very well. They played into the win, I thought, as if they were the home side, like they had experienced this before. Wellington made a few uncharacteristic errors, I guess you could say, but then were able to do enough in the second half to come back and pick up the win, and an 8-point win in the end, a high scoring 39-31.
Yeah, I think it was just more, coming off the back of the result the week before, where they had the win behind them, and then it turned, and then obviously they had it in the second half to help them sort of understand that you got to play the right percentages. So yeah, I was actually I was a bit nervous because Manawatu, I think they might be at the bottom, or no, they're not at the bottom, but they have been sort of outside of the table. And,
they are currently the bottom team in NPC.
For them to be going up against the Lions and scaring them like that shows you that they've still got fight in them to come down here to Wellington and scare their neighbours. So, yeah, Wellington lost their skipper.
Captain.
Yeah, no, Duplessis Karifi.
How bad is it? Have you heard?
I haven't heard, but he did post that he had broken his jaw, so it might be a bit of a lengthy time for him on the sidelines, which he'll probably be frustrated about because I know he'd rather be out on the field running around with his teammates and leading the troops. But yeah, it was a tough old battle for them. I think that they finally got it right. There was a few changes that probably needed to be made in the second half, which they did, and yeah, but it was a tough old game. I was more happier of the first game that on Friday night between Hawke's Bay and the
Taniwha.
Oh, who's that winger? O'Donnell. I was thinking, oh, Honey Badgers is back. Is back. He was that try that he scored from that cross kick, diving and catching it and sliding in. That was like that was
Skills.
awesome. That was skill. That reminded me of the Honey Badger.
Yeah, well, he's selling undies these days, isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know, is he?
Well, I don't know. Somebody told me.
Paulie's a big fan. What, used ones or clean ones, Paulie?
Not in the market. I go commando every day.
Oh, here we go. Move a little bit further away there, Piri, mate.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we just spoke earlier in the podcast about the fitness levels that you need when you travel to the high veld in South Africa. Match fit. Another episode down. Well, we do this on a Tuesday, and match fit usually screens on a Wednesday night here. So I think last week, what happened? Yeah,
The Bronco?
the Bronco. Oh, yeah. What was your time? Was it just under 7 minutes?
No, it was 6:20 something.
I don't know if it's 6:20 something.
That was my fastest one I've done out of all the series.
Was it?
Yeah. I actually did some running. It was painful.
Damn.
It was painful. It's like, I try and do it early mornings where no one can see me in my ugly facials. Why? But no, it was good. Like someone like Ofisa Tanutu, who did 8 something to come. His target was to be under 7 minutes. I think he might have. I can't remember what it was, but just listening to his son talk about the motivation that Chief had throughout this the TV series, and I know through a lot of the work that he was when he was training, he'd actually take his kids out and they'd train with him, which was pretty cool. And it showed at the end once he finished the Bronco how much it sort of meant to him and his progress from it. So yeah, it's awesome. Not only that, Volcano. But suspect about Volcano's time there. I think he might have cheated in the first one.
What he he went real slow on the first one.
Yeah.
So
I better think about the time for no.
For those of you who don't know what a Bronco is, it's one of these, I guess, tools that a lot of the rugby teams use to figure out how fit you are. So basically, you start on the try line, and then you run 20 meters, go back. Then you run 40 meters, go back, and you run 60 meters, go back, and you do that 5 times. Record your time, and then hopefully after a wee bit of training, you'll improve that time significantly. And Piri's been doing it on the television show Match Fit, where a lot of ex-All Blacks and a lot of ex-Kiwis are getting back together to do some training, and then finally have a game against some retired
Wallabies
and kangaroos
players.
Nice. Okay. Let's stick with the NPC and let's have a look at this week's NPC. And because we're running out of time, we can't have a look at every single game. But there are a few games that stick out. Of course, it's Storm Week for Canterbury and Hawke's Bay. They're playing Wednesday night. Canterbury $1.45. Hawke's Bay $2.60. Of course, this in Canterbury, so the Ranfurly Shield not on the line. Another big game, Waikato Auckland, and you would have expected this to be a bit of a top of the table battle, but unfortunately for Auckland, they're down around the bottom of the table. They're $1.37 though, heading to Hamilton to take on Waikato, who are $2.90. I guess, Searle, is there any game that you want to have a look at coming up this weekend?
Geez, there could be a bit of value there for Waikato, eh? I can't believe that. I don't know why Auckland are $1.37 favourites after being 0-3, but I guess that just shows how good the team is on paper, that the bookies still believe in them. Taranaki Otago, I think that'll be a good game. Taranaki pretty clear favourites there, but don't underestimate Otago. I think it's possibly the fact there that this game is in Taranaki, that Otago go in as heavy underdogs, but we've seen that they're capable of playing some good footy. And that Tasman Bay of Plenty game will be good as well. I think that one of the best things about NPC, right, is we're only 3 weeks in and there's only 3 unbeaten teams remaining out of the 14 teams. Like, like Piri mentioned, Manawatu pushing Wellington, no one would have had that on their day. Any team can really go with anyone. And Bay of Plenty have a really good side on paper, so that'll be a good test there for Tasman as well.
Pity, if you look at this weekend's games, of course, the Wellington-Canterbury game isn't up yet because Canterbury have to play Wednesday night. But of the games that are up, anything there that you want to have a look at?
Maybe Tunnies and the Stags.
Top in
the south.
Yeah.
To see who can be the most dominant. I think this will be a good matchup between the two. Both teams still playing good quality footy. And it'll just be good to sort of prove a point. I think Tunnies may just get the job done. I'm not sure, but I know it'll definitely be a good head-to-head match.
I also like the look of that Waikato team just because of the odds that they have, and you usually get. It's always tough when you have a bit of a derby, and I know that Counties Manukau are in between Waikato and Auckland on the map, but this is a pretty much one of the derbies in NPC rugby that I always look forward to. And I just think Waikato at home at $2.90 plus getting the points just looks like a wee bit of value. I mean, if we think back to the first week, Southland with their derby game against Otago down in Southland. And then, of course, Manawatu just gone by against Wellington, another sort of a derby there. They just seem to be a lot closer than the market sometimes suggests. So, yeah, I'm happy to have a little stab at Waikato at 2.90 and also taking them plus 7.5. Converted try. They haven't been that bad, to be fair. And look, Auckland will be desperate, but sometimes being desperate can cause you to make a few more mistakes than you would actually like. So, yeah, the one game that really sticks out for me is that Waikato Auckland. Okay, hunch time. Anyone got a hunch this week? Pity, surely you've got one coming up soon. Hey, is it number 10 this time? Number 10. I saw 10. 10 on the letterbox. What?
No
hunches?
No, not today. Told you, after that one, I'm a one-hitter quitter.
I get the feeling that last week you probably saw a 7. Yeah, 7 or 7. So
no.
Duplessis Karifi to score. Oh no, he breaks his jaw.
There's
Well,
no way. Nothing could be as bad as your one. Going against ABs. Anyway, Searle, you got a hunch this week?
No, I don't really, to be honest, but I was looking forward to Paulie's one because I know it'll be doom and gloom on the All Blacks, which then means we're going to win. And I just wanted to point out, obviously, Paulie was up for the Warriors game on the weekend. It's the 6th time he's worn the jersey this year, and it's the 6th loss we've had. So shout out to Paulie for being the ultimate curse.
Maybe you should just wear your TAB one. Then.
I usually do.
Actually.
What? Or not go.
Just leave Carl there by himself.
Yeah.
Him and Silly can do the job, surely.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's probably true.
I love you, Paulie, mate.
Well, we can actually claim, next time you go on there, do you remember me? Do that one again, but we'll act like you're Mark Tukey.
Ow!
Got the same hairline.
Have I? What?
Mark Tukey.
Jeez, I've opened up a real can of worms here. Sorry, Paulie, mate.
Talk about an impact player.
Big man. Oh, you drive a Mini too?
Oh, well, can't fit my golf clubs in a Mini, can I?
Right. You don't need a passenger seat.
Just have it on a trundler and put your arm out the window, tow them along.
Or just have it like Winston Sewer and drag his rubbish bin all the way to work on the motorway. His wheelie bin.
On the back of what?
Of his car.
What? Who did that?
One of my mates in Auckland.
Rubbish bin to work.
You probably thought he was just driving down the bottom.
Was it hooked on?
And forgot to take it off at the end of the drive.
Have a look at Shakira. I'm not Shakira and Sheree Kaka's TikToks and she's got it on her one of her posts that she did. I was cracking up
On the motorway.
Someone recorded your rubbish bins on the back. Sorry, Uncle X.
Oh, that's a good one. That's better than a hunch.
Yeah, that'll play. That'll play.
All righty. We've got $100 to spend again on any rugby this weekend. Searle, we'll start with you. Where do you want to go?
Yeah, I just went boring. Obviously the teams haven't been named, so it's hard to get on that All Blacks Springboks game with any real confidence. And then for your NPC betting, I like to jump on for some same game multis because there's some great odds for some try scorers, but obviously the teams haven't been named there either. So I've just done a little 4-leg head-to-head, pretty missionary stuff, to be honest. I just went with Tasman and Taranaki, Harbour and Northland all to win head-to-head, paying $2.67.
Easy peasy.
Well, nothing. I'm actually going to do a 8-leg multi.
Oh,
8.
Yeah. Harbour. Not Harbour, sorry, Northland on Friday to get the job over Southland. Harbour over Counties.
I like it already.
Taranaki, 12 and under. Waikato, 12 and under. With Tasman, head to head. Wellington, head to head. Hawke's Bay over Manawatu. And then for the Wednesday one, Waikato to beat the Tunnies. I'll put a handy on it.
Jeez, this could be a season ender, Paulie, if that wins, mate.
You've got way too many games in there.
Oh, is it? What? Hang on, wait, 1, 2.
I like it. It's adventurous.
Wednesday.
Yeah, but I don't think you're going to be able to place all of those because the odds. What's the first game that you've got? Northland, Southland. So you got Northland Friday. So Canterbury play Hawke's Bay to Wednesday night. So their second game should be out.
Jeez, look at this maths, eh? We need that meme with all the numbers floating around in his head as he does it here.
Light bulb.
Yeah, well, if it can be placed, I'll calculate it out. Yeah, all righty. Well, you guys are scared to go with the test match. I'm not.
No, we just find a bit more interest in some of the stuff with NPC.
I'm going to go there, and I'm going to have a look at that half full-time double.
Please bet on South Africa.
I'm going to go New Zealand to lead at halftime, South Africa to win.
There it is.
That's paying $6.50. They have $50 on that. I hope it doesn't come true. But I just think maybe, as Searle said, a number of those All Blacks won't have had a lot of experience at the high veld. And towards the end of the game, that just might count against them. And I'm guessing that South Africa might have a whole heap of forwards on that bench as well. They'll just come on.
The bomb squad.
The bomb squad will come on in that second half and just give the Springboks another boost. So, yeah, New Zealand to lead at halftime, South Africa to win. That's $6.50, $50 on that. And I'll have a little NPC multi, just 2 legs. Waikato to beat Auckland at $2.90. And I'll also take Taranaki to beat Otago, $1.30 there. Boom, easy peasy. That's it.
Easy peasy, you reckon?
Well, no, it's not easy peasy.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not that easy.
It's really hard. Promotions this week. What have we got? We'll have the Oval Ball Mega Multi Buster. And keep an eye out. Head to the promotions page at tab.co.nz to find out. I'm sure the team will have a promotion out for the All Black Springboks test as well. They're probably working on it as we speak. Right. What are you up to this weekend, Piri?
I got the Masters League tournament that stupidly put my name forward for with the Wainui boys.
Where's it been played?
Out at Nino Park.
How many?
Ramwick at the Kingfishers home ground.
And how many teams? Well,
good question. I just got asked
Just
if I
go.
went to the jam. And I was like, no, if my uncles and my older brother are playing, yeah, why not?
Oh, so Billy's playing as well?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, had his lung stretched on the weekend, playing for the parliamentary team against
Journalists.
Northland Old Boys as well. I think it was.
So he played for Parliament.
Yep. And played against bloody Charlie Faumuina and Liam Messam, even though Liam shouldn't have played.
Gee, Liam would still be fit, wouldn't he?
He's got a fight coming up soon.
Yeah, he's got a boxing fight coming up.
So
Yeah, and Billy was like, bro, get off. Get off, cuz. You got a fight coming up. Bro. Get off. So Billy said that hunger ran at him and he gave it the old, just run. Just run, you egg. We don't want you to get injured.
Searle, what are you up to?
Nah, pretty mellow one, to be fair. Obviously, Harbour play on Saturday Arvo, so I'll go along to that. And before that, it's Westlake versus Kelston at Westlake Boys too, to see who goes through from the Auckland comp through to the top 4. So that should be a good game. Kelston pulled off the upset on the weekend, and then Westlake got pushed by Rossmini too. So yeah, it should be a good matchup. So I'll go watch that.
Oh, so Wellington will be represented by what? Silverstring?
No, they lost on the weekend to Palmy Boys.
Oh, Palmy.
So the Hurricane Regions final is between Fielding and Palmy.
Fielding?
Yeah.
What about Hastings? No good.
No, they lost.
Wow.
Oh.
So is that
No,
Fielding agriculture?
I think they're in a different one.
Oh.
I have to check.
Oh, well. What am I up to? Nothing. What is this weekend?
Still detoxing from Friday, aren't you, mate?
No, we're doubling down. Quite a few of the boys that we haven't seen in a few months. We're all meeting at the Cambridge.
Oh, no.
A afternoon's worth of having a few beers and having a bit of a punt as well. So
that's why you don't see them for a few months, is because it's always too dangerous. So yeah, it could be a big one for Paulie.
Oh, well, I'm not sure if I'll make it through to kick off at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I might be watching the replay, having breakfast on Sunday morning. But anyway, if you're going to have a bet, please bet responsibly. Enjoy the rugby. Head out and watch a game or two. And we'll be back next week as we dissect the first test between the Springboks and the All Blacks and have a look at the second test. And, of course, plenty of NPC rugby as well. Thank you.